Imagine this: a global icon, a footballing superstar, lands in the heart of the desert, not seeking an oasis of tranquility, but a kingdom of opportunity. Neymar Jr., one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet, arrives in Riyadh, but not as a tourist, but as a transformative force. He wasn't just joining Al-Hilal, he was meant to be Al-Hilal, the face of a league on the rise, the symbol of a nation's sporting ambition. Millions were spent, and expectations soared, and the narrative was clear. Neymar was going to conquer Saudi Arabia. He was going to elevate the Saudi Pro League to unprecedented heights, attracting a global audience and ushering in a new era of footballing spectacle. He was the centerpiece of a meticulously crafted image, a symbol of success, and a testament to the power of an investment. But the reality, as it so often does, refused to conform to the script. Instead of a triumphant reign, Neymar's time in the Middle East became a story of frustration, injury, and ultimately, a premature exit. He arrived with a fanfare, a king in all but name, but he left what exactly? A question mark? A cautionary tale? A symbol of unmet expectations? The truth is far more nuanced and far more captivating than the carefully constructed narrative we were initially presented with. It's a story of ambition, disillusionment, and a complex interplay of money, ego, and the beautiful game. And it all begins with a single, devastating twist of fate. This is Kick Espresso, and if you love the drama-filled world of football, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to stay up to date on any future uploads. That being said, let's get back into the video.
Al-Hilal have signed Neymar, the Brazilian superstar from Paris Saint-Germain, for a fee that we believe to be around 100 million euros.
When the news broke out that Neymar Jr., one of the most marketable athletes in the world, was heading to Al-Hilal, the footballing world was collectively stunned. The sheer audacity of the move, the astronomical figures involved. It wasn't just a transfer, it was a statement. A declaration that the Saudi Pro League was no longer a retirement home for fading stars, but for serious players on the global stage. It was a power move, a flex of financial muscle that sent shockwaves throughout the footballing world. Fans, pundits, and even casual observers were captivated by the spectacle. Neymar, the global icon, the magician with the ball at his feet, was embarking on a new adventure. The narrative was expertly crafted. Neymar, seeking a fresh challenge, embracing a new culture, and becoming the face of a burgeoning league. Al-Hilal, and by extension, the Saudi Pro League, played their part to perfection, showcasing Neymar's arrival as a historic moment, a turning point in the region's sporting history. They painted a picture of Neymar as a conquering hero, ready to lead Al-Hilal to unprecedented glory. They highlighted the luxurious lifestyle, the eye-watering salary, the promise of a footballing dynasty. They wanted the world to believe that Neymar was happy, fulfilled, and ready to write a new chapter in his illustrious career. But behind the scenes, a different story was unfolding. A story of injury, disappointment, and ultimately, failure. Let's be blunt, Neymar's time at Al-Hilal was a disaster. A colossal, expensive, and ultimately embarrassing failure. He wasn't the conquering hero, he was a phantom. 7 appearances, 1 goal. These aren't the statistics of a player who cost a king's ransom. They're the epitaph of a transfer gone horribly wrong. The carefully constructed narrative of glory was a smokescreen, a veil concealing the harsh reality. Neymar was never fully fit, never truly integrated into the team, and ultimately, never able to justify the astronomical investment made in him. His reoccurring injuries, culminating in a devastating ACL injury, transformed him from a marquee signing into a costly liability. Al-Hilal shelled out a fortune, only to receive a fraction of the return they expected. The dream of Neymar leading Al-Hilal to a regional dominance quickly evaporated, replaced by the cold reality of a player spending more time in the treatment room than on the pitch. Neymar's struggles weren't solely confined to the physical realm. Whispers began circulating about his difficulties adjusting to the cultural landscape of Saudi Arabia. While these rumors were never officially confirmed, they added another layer of complexity to the narrative. The spotlight, the pressure, the constant scrutiny, it all took its toll. Neymar was accustomed to the glitz and the glamour of European football, and now he found himself in a vastly different environment. The league barrier, the cultural nuances, and the distinct style of play, These factors may have contributed to his struggles. While Al-Hilal publicly maintained a supportive stance, emphasizing their commitment to Neymar's well-being, behind closed doors, doubts were growing. The club's investment was hemorrhaging money, and the return of their massive outlay was virtually non-existent. The initial excitement that had greeted Neymar's arrival began to wane, replaced by frustration and disappointment. But why did they allow this charade to continue for so long? Why perpetrate the myth of Neymar's happiness and success when the reality was so starkly different? The answer, as it so often does in professional football, lies in the money. Neymar's contract with Al-Hilal was a financial behemoth, a multi-million-dollar behemoth. Terminating it prematurely meant a significant payout for the Brazilian superstar. Al-Hilal, eager to avoid a messy and potentially damaging legal battle and keen to preserve their reputation on the international stage, agreed to a substantial settlement. This wasn't just about football. It was a cold, calculated business decision. Both parties had their own interests to protect. Neymar secured a hefty sum, ensuring that his time in Saudi Arabia, however brief and unsuccessful, was financially rewarding. Al-Hilal, on the other hand, avoided further negative publicity and the potential for a protracted legal dispute. The exact figures of the settlement remain undisclosed, but speculation suggests it was a significant portion of his remaining contract, underscoring the financial implications of his failed venture. Adding insult to injury, Al-Hilal's own coach, Jorge Jesus, publicly expressed his doubts about Neymar's ability to perform at the required level. This candid assessment, delivered in a press conference, shattered the carefully constructed illusion of a harmonious relationship between the player and the club. It exposed the growing rift, the underlying tension that had been simmering beneath the surface for months. Jesus' comments weren't just a casual observation. They were a clear indication that Neymar was no longer part of Al-Hilal's plans. It painted a picture of a fractured relationship, where communication had broken down and trust had eroded. This public airing of grievances further damaged Neymar's reputation and solidified the perception of his time in Saudi Arabia as a failure. It also raises the question about the club's management of the situation and their handling of a star player who was clearly struggling both physically and mentally. With his Al-Hilal chapter abruptly closed, Neymar has made a dramatic return to his boyhood club, Santos. This move is both a homecoming and a strategic maneuver. He's returning to familiar surroundings, to the club where he first burst onto the scene, where he's loved and revered by fans. It's a chance for him to rehabilitate his image, to recover from his injuries, and perhaps to rekindle the spark that once made him one of the most electrifying players in the world. But is this a genuine desire to return to his roots, a longing for familiar embrace of his hometown club? Or is it a calculated move to salvage his career, to rebuild his reputation after the debacle in Saudi Arabia? The answer, as always, is likely a complex mix of both. Santos offers Neymar a sanctuary, a place where he can escape the intense scrutiny of the global spotlight and focus on his recovery. It's a chance to reconnect with his roots, to remind the world of the talent that once made him a global sensation. But it's also a gamble. Can he recapture his former glory? Can he overcome his persistent injuries? And can he silence the critics who now question his commitment and his legacy? Neymar's saga at Al-Hilal is more than just a football story. It's a cautionary tale. Inflated expectations, broken promises, and the harsh realities of professional sports collide in this narrative. It highlights the risk of big money transfers, the pressures on star players, and the hidden agendas that often drive these decisions. He was meant to be the king, but left as something far less. His legacy, once seemingly assured, now hangs in the balance. Will he be remembered for his dazzling talent, or as the mystifying star whose career faltered amidst controversy? The answer lies not just in his future performances, but in how he addressed the questions surrounding his Saudi stint. Did he embrace the challenge, or was it purely financial? Was he a victim of circumstances, or did his actions contribute to his downfall? Beyond Neymar, his Saudi visit raises concerns about the league's trajectory. While investment has attracted high-profile players, Neymar's experience shows that money alone isn't enough. A sustainable league needs more than just star power. It needs infrastructure, competitive balance, and a genuine passion. The Neymar saga highlights the pitfalls of prioritizing spectacle over substance, of focusing on big names over homegrown talent. For Neymar, his return to Santos is a return to a different stage of his career. He's no longer the young prodigy, but a veteran battling injuries. This is his chance to redefine himself, to prove his passion and ability, as a chance to rewrite the narrative, reclaim his legacy, and silence the doubters. But it won't be easy. He must overcome physical limitations, rediscover his form, and show renewed purpose. The Neymar story continues. His time in Saudi Arabia may be over, but its impact lingers. The question remains, the doubts persist, and the world watches. Will he rise again, or will his desert visit mark the beginning of the end? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the football world will be watching closely, eager for the next act in this captivating drama.